At UFC London, Tom Aspinall delivered on a highlight reel performance against a heavyweight behemoth in the biggest spot of his career. He added to his record of first-round finishes, now totaling 11, in front of a hometown capacity crowd at the O2 Arena. That was Alexander Volkov's fourth defeat in round 1 over his 44-fight pro career. Backing Tom Aspinall in round 1 sat at plus 450, while picking him to specifically win by submission was plus 700. Put those together and bet the round 1 submission prop, and you're looking at a juicy plus 1800. In the co-main event, Englishman Arnold Allen earned the biggest victory of his career by dispatching a veteran Dan Hooker in round 1. That was Arnold's first round victory in close to 8 years. That was also his first KO victory in close to 7 years. If you backed Allen by KO, you'd be getting plus 550 odds. If you thought he was going to get it done within the first frame, you'd be looking at plus 700. If you were extra confident and called your shot round 1 KO, you'd get a handsome plus 1200 to bet on. Paddy the Baddy arrived in a form he wouldn't want in any other way, and that's chaotic. After suffering an early knockdown, he quickly turned the tables by getting the back and sinking in the rear naked choke, which paid plus 140. Gunnar Nelson made his long-awaited return to the cage and got the fight into his realm pretty much right off the bat. He enjoyed 8 minutes of control time, but was unable to hit a submission, which only paid up to minus 150. That means the odds makers were implying Nelson would submit Sato 60% of the time. He was close, but ended up coming away with the decision victory, which paid plus 300. Meatball Molly McCann and Luana Carolina probably would have come away with the fight of the night honors on any other card, but given the significance of this card, the UFC opted to give out performance bonuses to every single finish on the card instead. Molly found herself with one of those after her vicious spinning back elbow KO finish of Luana Carolina. Molly winning by knockout paid out plus 750, which makes sense because she's only had 5 KO victories in her 12 total wins. It was also her first ever victory via stoppage in round 3, which paid out plus 1800. If you had the balls to play round 3 KO here for Molly McCann, it would have paid out a whopping plus 2500. It's always a big deal when Ilia Topuria takes center stage given the hype surrounding his name. He almost lost his undefeated record via a devastating head kick from Jai Herbert in round 1. Those nutty enough to play Jai Herbert round 1 KO would have banked a plus 1100 ticket. Unfortunately, Topuria was able to survive and cash a round 2 KO ticket of plus 1000. It was definitely way more of a sweat than people expected for a fighter that was minus 600, implying that he should have won that fight 86% of the time. Makwan Amirkhani was fighting to halt a 3-fight losing streak. Meanwhile, Mike Grundy was fighting in front of his terminally ill father for what could have possibly been his last time watching his son perform. After a solid takedown from Mike Grundy, Makwan went to his patented Anaconda choke, of which now he has 5 to his record. Amirkhani via submission paid plus 500, meanwhile any finish in round 1 for him would have cashed plus 600. Playing the exact round and method prop here paid out plus 1000. If you knew he could have gotten it done in swift fashion and under 1 minute, that paid out plus 1800 on DraftKings. Nikita Krylov threw himself into the jaws of defeat by taking down Paul Craig, eventually finding himself in a triangle choke. This was a puzzling decision from Nikita Krylov, who already had 5 losses via submission. Craig now has 13 of his 16 wins coming via submission. After eating heavy shots for the first couple minutes, it was just a matter of time before Craig was slapping on the triangle choke, which paid out plus 300 for the submission prop. For Craig to have gotten it done in round 1, it paid out plus 500, something he had already done in 10 prior victories. Put those together and you would have been cashing a plus 800 ticket on Paul Craig to win via round 1 submission. Mohamed Makhachev came blazing into the UFC with a stellar 23-0 amateur record as well as a 5-0 pro record. After being talked about as the next big thing, he sure delivered on that hype by dispatching of Cody Durden via submission after landing a beautiful flying knee. It was only around plus 200 for Makhachev to win via submission, but if you were privy and expecting a quick finish for him, DraftKings paid out plus 1000 for that finish to come within 60 seconds. Appreciate you guys checking out this new series. Please hit that subscribe and like if you haven't already, and check out the rest of my content, which features predictions, breakdowns, and a ton of betting advice.